Hello, and welcome back to the finale of Season 1 of my Aston Martin Driver Career Mode. This episode, we are finalising our fight with Haas for P7 in the championship. They're 8th on the performance ranking, we're 10th. But there's only 2 points between us and Haas. We have the advantage going into this race, but we are going to have to fight to hold on to that. Either team could get a decent result here and completely blow the other out of the water. We're in no contention to try and get towards Alpine, and Alfa Romeo are nowhere near us behind, as our personal standings don't really matter, but we have the, as I said, we have the advantage. We scored P10 in the last race, bringing us a point extra ahead of Haas, which means we are going to have a bit less work to do than the Haas. Getting into qualifying here, Abu Dhabi is, I don't want to say it's one of my better circuits, probably one of my medium circuits. It's not a circuit that I can do particularly well at, but I think I can keep myself in the mix if circumstances go right. The main important part, though, is going to be these first few qualifying runs. As let's get into lap 1. Qualifying this season has definitely not been our strong suit. That's definitely something that I want to improve for next season. Obviously, it's hard to qualify high up the grid in what is effectively, well, I say effectively, it is the worst car on the grid. So that is going to hinder us in some places, especially qualifying where one lap pace is important, and performance in qualifying is probably the most important thing, which we don't have. Nicholas Latifi saying the first lap time, that's definitely not going to be representative for this session, as we're having a pretty untidy lap to start this off, going deep in a few corners, having a few snaps on the exit, but we're hoping the track's going to grip up a bit later on as we come home to set what is going to be most definitely the slowest lap time of the session, the 26.3, 1.6 seconds off Alex Albon, but we're going to go immediately again. We're going to find around 1.3 to 1.2 seconds on that lap. Lose a bit through the last corner. We find about a second and a tenth. And that only puts us 5 tenths behind Alex Albon. And now our second lap on new tyres. We should hopefully be able to improve on our best laps. Those were done on used tyres, as we definitely got a bit more suited to the circuit, and now you can see we're finding time throughout every corner. We are about 1.5 tenths. I hope it will go up a bit more there. We are losing time here. Clearly didn't get as good an exit as we did on those used tyres, which, to be honest, I have actually found that we're much able to set better lap times on used tyres than new, but we do abandon that lap as we're now banking it all on this final lap to get us out of P20. Already 2 tenths up on our, was our second lap. Go a bit wide through there, unsettles the car a bit. We managed to stay 2.5 tenths up. Coming towards the end of qualifying now, we find a bit of time going into the chicane. We lose it in the middle, but then we're going to gain it all back on the exit. Our best exit so far is still the second lap on used tyres, not our new tyre runs. Braking just after the 50-metre board, getting the car turned in. We're going to improve by 5.5 tenths. We had a little bit of slide on the exit, but that is going to put us P19, not P20. And to be honest, that's probably something we were aiming for. What we should be is P19 and 20. If we can beat cars ahead of us, we are beating Nicholas Latifi, which I assume he had a bad lap because his car should be better than ours. But the Haas qualifying in P13 and 14, not kind of what we wanted, a bit higher than what we should have done. They've beaten Yuki Tsunoda and Joe Guanyu. Let's get into this race and see how it goes.
Welcome to the YAS Mariana circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the YAS Mariana circuit through 16 corners and a lap distance of around 3.28 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, so plenty of close racing, then plenty of speed and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Ocon, Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo. Hamilton, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Russell, Bottas and Lando Norris. Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Charles Leclerc and Albon. Vettel, the engineer, Pierre Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi, Tsunoda and Guan Yu Zhou. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay guys, so we've moved up a few positions into P16, but our rivals in Haas are now 11th and 12th, right on the verge of the points. We're going to have to make up some places. We're going to have to challenge them up there, because otherwise they're in a very good position to score the points they need to beat us. But for now, we're going to go to 5 red lights. There's a Red Bull front row. As we go green in Abu Dhabi, we get a pretty decent start, pretty much on par with our teammate. He comes to cover us off. We're going to keep the inside line. We go up ahead, right, banging wheels with the Williams of Albon. Schumacher and Magnussen falling down at the start from the Ferrari of, I believe that is Charles Leclerc. We're going to go for a try and look up the inside of Mick Schumacher. Unsuccessful for ourselves there. Deploying ERS, trying to get past these Haas. They're the main goal in this race. We were a bit wider, try and get the better exit of the corner, but that just compromises us to Sebastian Vettel, who is now going to sit in our slipstream for the entire straight. The Haas are battling up ahead. There's so many 2 wides up ahead. We're going to try and get around the outside of Schumacher. We get the inside line, and we are through on our first Haas of the races. I believe, if I've seen that correctly, he has a little bit of a wing damage, which means he might be pitting at the end of this lap, and he might be in a position to not make up too many positions in this race, which means we'll be only fighting 1 Haas for points in this race. He does get back ahead of us, but now we are going to go up his inside. Our teammate tries to make it 3 wide with us. He's going to kind of mess us up a bit there. Sorry for the screen freeze there. Don't know what happened there. As Schumacher ahead of us, he is going to pull into the pit, and that is a huge bonus for us. 1 Haas that we don't have to deal with in this race, but what it does do is leave us a bit of a gap to the car ahead. The Alfa Romeo is now onto lap 4. Schumacher is out of the session. Oh, that is brilliant for us, but oh my god, we spinned it round. Oh no, that is just not what we needed, which is going to deploy the safety car. Let's have a look at what happened to Schumacher here. Damning incident for us. But Schumacher is going to be fully out of this race. He's going slow. I think he's got an engine failure. Good for us. But it's brought a safety car out, which is going to bunch the pack together. Mike gave us some opportunities, but we have fallen back all the places we made at the start. We're now in P16, I believe. As you can see, Max Verstappen in P1. Esteban Ocon in the Alpine P2, followed by Carlos Sainz P4, Carlos Sainz P3, and Daniel Ricciardo P4. But the main part that I'm worried about is Kevin Magnussen in P10. He's gained 1 point in this race, not enough to beat us, but if there's retirements ahead, he is fully in the position to start beating us. Our teammates in P13, we're probably going to have to wait for him to capitalise there. We're in P17, right behind Tsunoda. We actually make a little bit of contact with his back end. We get the green flag, so we're going to go for it. We get a warning for collision with Tsunoda, but we are now going to overtake him, as we can overtake him from safety car line 1, which around Abu Dhabi is right in front of the pit lane entrance. So we make up a place on the restart. Albon ahead, Perez in P14, not the place that he wants to be in. He wants to be winning this race, because if he wins this race, he has a chance of winning the Drivers' World Championship. Would just be amazing for the man retiring at the end of the session. Bit of wheel banging with our teammate Sebastian Vettel is going to slow them down a bit. It's going to allow us to catch up a bit, as we were fighting with Tsunoda at the start. Lost us a bit of time. Perez now at the head of this train. Albon and Vettel behind look to be trying to make a move on each other. Vettel brakes really late, gets on the inside of Sergio Perez. That's going to lose them time, and that's going to lose me and my voice a bit, but for now Vettel is slowing down Albon. He's seen that probably over the course of the season we are the stronger driver, and he slowed him down, and slowed it down enough for us to go up the inside of Alex Albon. Sebastian Vettel really helping us in this race. We have, I believe, 50 points compared to his 2, so clearly we're the faster driver in this Aston Martin. So now he is giving us the opportunities to make up as many places in this race. A nice farewell from our teammate, as we are going to be leaving Aston Martin at the end of the season for hopefully bigger and better things, as we now use the DRS to get up Sebastian Vettel round the outside. We'll come the inside for the next corner. He's not going to fight us that hard, as we are now trying to close up to the cars ahead of us. Now on lap 13 we have about a 4-second gap to the Alfa Romeo Zhou Guan Yu behind, and another 4-second gap to Gasly ahead, as we're kind of in our own no man's land sitting here in P14, as we're now going to come into the pits to fit on a new set of the hard compound tyres. We come in with a lot of other drivers. I expect Gasly's in as well. I expect probably cars in behind, so I don't actually see that many cars in behind. So we have a good stop there as we're out into the pit lane. I believe that's a 2.5 second stop, so slowest you can get on the purple turnip, but we'll take it anyway, as we just need to get through this race clean and hopefully try and pick up a few points in this race. Gasly's only 2.6 seconds ahead of us now on lap 15. We've been putting in some pretty good lap times out of the pits. As you can see, we are slowly gaining through every corner, although as a kind of trend that we've seen this season, the AI are a lot better on the traction zones compared to us. I think that's just a game thing. The AI are quite good with the tractions. We set the fastest middle sector of the entire race. As you can see though, that did cost us quite a bit of energy, but it's what we're going to have to do to catch up to Pierre Gasly and the AlphaTauri ahead, and Valtteri Bottas. As you can see, speeding it up a bit here, trying to get through as much as we can. We are gaining a bit of time. We go a bit wide there. We do lose a bit of time, but we are generally keeping the gap at around 2 seconds. 1.7 seconds now, as you can see, on lap 23. Gasly is going for the move on the flying fin. Valtteri Bottas, he's going to get the outside line for the chicane, which will quickly become the inside line for the next corner. They're squabbling. Gasly not being able to get the exit. I believe Bottas is now going to have DRS for the second bite of the cherry to try and get past him. You see us in the background. We're closing up. Gasly holding them up into the chicane. He locks up. He goes straight on. Bottas is now back ahead, and that's allowed us into this fray. This is the fray for what I believe is P11 on the track. Yes, Bottas in P11. They're going to fight again on lap 24. Copycat moves from Gasly here. Can he get a better exit this time to try and get past Bottas? Can we get a good exit to try and overtake both of them and get out to P11? Retirement ahead means we could get Pro Steel points. We're going to go for the double overtake on the Flying Finn and the Frenchman Pierre Gasly. We have the inside line. We go a bit wide. Gasly goes wide to try and cut back in. We are side by side when we go really wide to try and get the cut back in, trying to get the overspeed, but Gasly just gets ahead of us. We made the overtake on Bottas, but Gasly is going to stay ahead of us after that sequence of corners. As now onto lap 26. Bottas is falling back a bit, not being able to match the pace of Gasly and myself. And you see Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap of the race right now, out of the points. That's going to blow the championship open if Russell can win, or I'm going to say Sergio Perez, but he's in P10. Not good for him at the moment, but we're fighting with Pierre Gasly for what is going to be, hopefully, if there's a retirement ahead of us. I know I keep saying this, but we need a retirement ahead of us for what could be points in this race potentially. We're going to just try and pressure him, see if we can force him into a mistake to get Evan. Bottas isn't a problem anymore, but the main problem that we're having in this race is, if you can look at the minimap, ahead of Perez in P9 is Kevin Magnussen. 2 points for the Haas, which puts us exactly equal in the Constructors' Championship, and I honestly have no idea who would get P7 if we're equal on points. Is it going to be us for having me with the better results, or is it going to be Haas for having both of their drivers above one of our team? I don't know, but we're going for a fight with Pierre Gasly. We're going to get the inside line for the next corner as Gasly outbrakes us and he shatters his wing all over the track. He's going to have no front wing. We were very lucky not to get rear wing or diffuser damage there. We go a bit wide there as we get a bit thrown off by Gasly hitting the back of us. But now lap 27, we just got to survive. Gasly comes into the pits to fix his front wing, and that is going to be the Frenchman's race for points over. We are on single digits of batteries. Charles Leclerc with the DRS in that Ferrari, best car on the grid, is right now bearing it down on us. As you can see, he is right behind us, closing in quickly. He's going to have the DRS. Can we stay ahead with flashing? We have no ERS left to play with. Can he get past us? He's not going to go for the move. He's playing it conservative. Although, there's no point playing it conservative when you're not in the points. As we are going to hopefully be able to hold him off through the final section here. Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix, which means Charles Leclerc is going to be your Drivers' World Champion for 2022. But for now, we got to hold him off as the final stage of the race. We're not going to pick up points. Kevin Magnussen is going to pick up 2 for Haas, leaving us absolutely neck and neck in the Constructors' Championship. We finished P11 as we just got to wait and see whether we can be 7th in the Constructors or 8th. A lot of money in between them and a lot of acclaim that we could get for being 7th rather than 8th. But Charles Leclerc is your Drivers' World Champion. Ferrari's first title since 2008, and the Monegasque has done it. He has won the Drivers' World Championship. Ferrari will want to continue this performance into next year, but Max Verstappen is going to take the win for the final race of the season. Actually no, I believe that's Daniel Ricciardo in P3 with Carlos Sainz, the Spaniard, in P2. What a podium for the final race of Season 2. What a race, and I hope you guys have enjoyed Season 1. Season 2 will be coming out in the next few days with a pre-season video following all the driver transfers in the next season and showcasing our new team. But for now, all we have to celebrate is the end of a brilliant season of Formula 1 with a new Drivers' World Champion. As one thing that I really like in this championship, Max Verstappen's still only a one-time world champion. I know that sounds petty, but I really enjoy it. I hope we can push for maybe podiums, maybe wins next season. But hey, all we can see, we come P11 in this race. Sergio Perez, the man retiring at the end of the race. At the end of the race, end of the season, is P10. As let's have a look at the driver standings here. See how close it was at the end of the season. Charles Leclerc beats Max Verstappen by just 6 points, and then George Russell a further few points back. But we are oh sorry, we were fighting Haas for P6. I've been saying P7 this entire race. I think I should have known that, but we just come out on top, entirely equal on the points. Red Bull win the Constructors, Mercedes second, Ferrari, even though they got the Drivers' World Championship, is third, but we are sixth, just edging out Haas, who were on equal points. And well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you've enjoyed the whole season. If you've missed episodes, go back and watch it. It's been a thrilling season, and I hope you guys can like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of 2023, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.